Hey YouTube, this is the Meyerco Wharning folder, and it is a Dirk Pinkerton design. This is a budget folder, kind of a neat little knife. It weighs 3.4 ounces. The blade length is 3 inches, and the whole package closed up is only 4 inches. So very light, very small, and as you can see, it is a Wharncliffe tip design, hollow grind. The price on this is only around $26. It's kind of a folding knife replacement for a box cutter. This type of tip design, the forward tip, it would have a good secondary use as just a very small defensive slasher. It's got a liner lock locking mechanism, G10 handle scales. The steel on this is 7CR17. Alright, so it's a less expensive Chinese stainless steel. Obviously that's why the price is such a bargain price. Alright, here's a close-up of the knife itself. You see rounded open pillar construction. There's the liner lock. The lock is very secure. There's no flexing of the liner, and there's no blade play on it. Alright, it is an assisted mechanism. Dual thumb studs. The assist comes out strong, and I can see the assist in there. It's like a little spring, and usually that's a very weak type of assist, but it's actually pretty strong on this one, as you can see. This is the pocket clip. It is a one position clip, right side carry tip up only. Right, but altogether, it's a handy little blade. You see the nice pointed Wharncliffe style tip, and that is a hollow grind. And it cuts pretty well. It doesn't come super sharp. You can see it does tear a little, but nonetheless, yeah, it still cuts pretty well just because of the Wharncliffe. You know, when you have a curve to the blade, the edge is constantly falling away from what you're cutting, so you're having to do kind of a circular motion. But with a completely straight edge like that, it's kind of relentless. So I think this would be an excellent, folding knife replacement for just a cheapo box cutter. I would definitely rather have this, than a box cutter. Alright, and here's a size comparison with a very similar knife. This is also a Meyerco folding knife. This is basically the hawkbill version. They're very similar, except the hawkbill, obviously it has a hawkbill instead of the Wharncliffe, and the handle design, it looks like, I believe that's the handle type of a swayback pocket knife. If you know about slip joints, I believe that's a swayback style handle. Right, but I actually like the more simple handle of the bottom knife. Alright, but if you want something like this in a hawkbill, check out my review of the top knife. But they're both pretty handy. Alright, and here's another size comparison. That is my Spyderco Delica Sprint Run. But, most people are familiar with the basic proportions of a Delica. So as you can see there, it's around the same overall length when open as the Delica. And when it's closed, right, the handle is even smaller than on the Delica. So this is truly a very light and handy sized little knife. Alright, and another size comparison with another Wharncliffe. Alright, you see the difference there between the Black Hawk B Warned and this budget Meyerco. And if you're preparing for like tactical World War III and you want, a folding box cutter that could also, you could fight with, well then, go ahead and get the Black Hawk blade. Obviously, it's sturdier, it has a lot more reach, but for most people that just want a folding knife replacement for a box cutter, let's say you work in a warehouse or something, The Meyerco, you know, it is a lot less expensive, and it's just smaller and handier. All right, so there you go, a comparison with a bigger, more tactical, more expensive Wharncliffe design. All right, and you see it does have a nice little row of jimping there. No lanyard hole at all. Overall, you know, I do think this is a great little blade for the price. It strikes me as a knife that you might carry in addition to a much more expensive and much larger folding knife. You know, if you're carrying a $200 real nice folding knife, you don't necessarily want to use that for kind of, you know, icky jobs cutting through adhesive tape and freaking all kinds of crud get on your knife. So this is like a blade saver for better knives. Alright, and it's also kind of a folding neck knife. Meyerco actually sells a fixed blade neck knife that's pretty much the same thing. You know, it's a Wharncliffe. It's meant as a little defensive slasher. Well, if you can't carry the fixed blade, you know, here's the folding version. And, you know, it's not meant for World War III. It's more just meant to discourage, let's just say, you know, that nasty ass tip. It could be used to discourage, you know, most reasonable human beings. Alright, so overall, yeah, I see where they're going with this, and I do approve. A little handy-dandy budget utility knife. I guarantee if you carry this knife, you know, within the first few days, you'll find many little utility uses for it. The price is right. Stay tuned for many more videos. I'm out of here.